Hi, good evening. My name is Jay Rothman. I am the host of the show. Tonight's episode number 90. How does living in our digital universe affect your health and life each day? Welcome to Real Men, Real Talk Live. Welcome back to the studio. Again, my name is Jay. I'm the host of the show. I am excited to introduce this evening Jeff Fasano coming in from Nashville, Tennessee. Jeff, welcome back.
Good evening, everyone.
And of course, we have Mr. Josh Richer. He calls Southern California home, land of dolphins and seals and otters and all kinds of beautiful people, places, and things. Welcome to the show tonight, Josh Richer.
Great to be here with you guys. Excited for another night.
Well, as we wait for some of our viewers to jump on with us this evening, at least in this moment, Evis Heath is having some technical difficulties on his digital universe coming in and having a stable connection. So at this moment, it's the three of us. It's a threesome here tonight. And again, welcome viewers. If you're joining us on Facebook Live, LinkedIn Live, YouTube Live, and our newest channels coming in from Roku TV and Amazon Fire TV on Your Health Network. Welcome to the show. If you should hear something that you like or love, if you're coming in from social media, please drop it down into your comments as we are live streaming. And if you should hear something that you like or love, tap your love button and light us up on your monitor. That is. Welcome to our viewers. If you are new with us this evening, and we'd love to know where you call home. Drop it down into your comments, where city, state, or country you call home. Again, tonight's topic is one that's a little unusual for us. It really is one that we haven't touched on. And this is our 90th episode. This topic again is how does living in our digital universe affect our health and life each day? We're going to deep dive into our relationships with technology and how it impacts every aspect of our life. For example, are you maintaining your true identity, or have you lost your identity in creating almost like an alter ego that shows up on social media? How does it cause pervasion of your privacy that is being in the digital world that we live in today? How much time do we spend on a device each day? Even while at the dinner table, how many times have any of you witnessed being at a restaurant and scanning the room, scanning the dining room, and seeing how many couples and or children are on your devices? And of course, is screen time destroying your divine? That's another good one right there. And here's one that really I have witnessed in the last 3 or 4 years, paying attention, observing young children. How many young children's speech has been delayed because they are speaking less and are being drawn into the devices as perhaps even as a babysitting type of tool for mom and dad to have a few minutes to or a few hours to not have their toddler or young child not interrupting them 100 times. I could tell you that I've witnessed a number of young children that are anywhere from 3 years up until 7 or 8 that I'm not a speech therapist, but clearly they have some type of speech delay. And I just wonder how much of that delay is coming because they are using less of their words and they're attached, they're focused on what's in front of them, that device. And so, gentlemen, as we start tonight's show off, Jeff Fasano, I want to invite you to kick us off. This is a topic that I know you've had some personal experiences in regards to your own life most recently. And tell us what you think about tonight's topic and warm us up tonight, will you?
Let's do it.
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, I just had my Instagram page hacked on Sunday. And it freaked me out for a couple of days because it's part of, as being a photographer, Instagram is important. but it made me look at how important. It makes me look at how important is it. I know how incredibly important it is to many other people. I by and large, and I might start to jump all over the place here, but by and large, I'm not a social media person at all. I'm barely on social media. If I spend 15 minutes in the morning doing my little Instagram post and maybe scrolling through, that's about it. And you won't see me on social media for the rest of the day. Facebook a little bit after that. I am definitely not a social media person. I don't like social media for so many reasons that we might dive into in this show tonight. It is, to me, I'm 63 years old. I guess you can call me an old school person. I'm the type of person that wants to get on the phone and speak to somebody. I want to make a connection. I don't want to do emails. I don't want to do text messages. I don't want to do any of that stuff that takes us out of the human element of life. And what I do see on social media, to me, and I'll editorial right now, I think social media on certain levels, now don't get me wrong, there's a lot of wonderful advantages of social media. And right now I'm just talking about social media because we'll go into the digital part of it and the importance of digital part and how wonderful that is because, hey, you're watching Real Men Real Talk Live right now on various digital platforms, which is wonderful, and how that keeps communication going. I'm just opening up with social media. And to me, when I look at social media and I do spend more than 15, 20 minutes going through videos or whatever, to me, and I'm going to say this and might alienate people, but to me, it's the dumbing down of the world. It's the dumbing down of America. The things that I see on social media and the things that I see that people do, I went, do you realize what this actually looks like? That's my take on social media. But like I said, we are going to expand on all of this to include a lot of other things that are really important as well.
You know, I want to jump in here, Jeff. Just kind of reiterate what you shared. Is that if I may paraphrase you, you have chosen, at least from a social media perspective, to use it as an asset, as a blessing, not a burden, and use it in a way where it enhances and conveys the work that you do to give you more exposure and reach more people that you may not reach outside of the part of the U.S. of A. that you reside in. And for me as well, I probably use it a lot more than you do. I'm on it more than you are, clearly. I'll acknowledge that. But at the same time, the majority of how I use social media is for it as an asset as well. It's to help grow the brand. It's to help reach more people on Real Men Real Talk Live. Also for my core business, which is Hike and Heal Experiences in Sedona. Mm-hmm. I post on it a couple of times a day between IG and LinkedIn as well as Facebook. And of course, there's a few other businesses that we have, side hustles that we market for. So really try to, so here we go. This is an interesting, in this moment we have, I wouldn't say we're being hacked, but clearly we have someone that's coming into our feed that is really not welcome here this evening. It happens. And we get to monitor our behavior and also monitor who comes through, at least on this show. Evis says, connection issue on a Digital YOUniVerse. Brothers and sisters, I'll sit in a chat with you. Thank you for joining tonight. Mercury retrograde. That is Evis's assessment as to why he was not able to have a stable connection. But in any event, we miss you, Ev. And hopefully next week we'll see you back here on Real Men Real Talk Live. Josh, I want to invite you to share from your own experience of how you navigate through the digital media, specifically right now in this segment. We're talking about social media. How do you? What's your relationship with social media? And why is that, in fact, your relationship?
We've already thrown out teasers on a whole bunch of things, and my experience was probably not different than many others in the beginning. Was that I wanted to fit in and be like others as well, and we were putting our best selves forward. This was years ago, and wanting to show the world that I was okay, and that's okay too. There's zero judgment here on anything we're talking about. We are all purely sharing from our own hearts and our own truth. And my truth today is I wrote a book, and I had my course, and the traditional way to push online content is to blast on social media and build your following, and of course, tease people on your products and how helpful they are. And I built these tools to be, they were the secrets that I found that took me years to find. And so I was so excited to build shortcuts for other people and to help and to give back. And my true passion in life is giving. And I got to give and build those things, but it came to the point where I had to market them, and I had to be online, and I had to be on social media, and it felt like a job. And it's funny, at first I thought I was just scared. I thought I was scared that the business would fail, and I thought I was using social media as a scapegoat, that I can't learn this stuff or learn to market like other people. And when I truly, and it's only been recently that I think I've kind of noticed, because I've actually not been on Instagram. I don't think posted anything for almost a year, or very little within the last year. And I realized that my truth is that it didn't feel authentic to follow the path that other coaches or people selling online stuff before me said that I needed to do for the things that I've built and created for others. And so I guess I have to honor that truth. And I don't know what that means for me. And it seems pretty silly to have spent years creating things and to not be selling them in the traditional way. And so I think I'm just leaning into more of me, more trust that my process will unfold, and whatever is right for me is going to present itself. But yeah, it just doesn't feel right for me personally. And again, I'm not judging anyone. It's just, for me, it didn't feel right, and it didn't feel genuine, and it didn't feel authentic, and it didn't feel like where I wanted to be. And so what that looks like for me, I don't know. It could be the documentary I'm working on. It could be something else, but I had to honor my heart and follow my heart through all of this. And so I know it's completely in the face of everything that everybody else says about selling things online. So I am the worst online marketer ever.
No, I am.
Well, here's where it gets kind of interesting, gentlemen. Is there is so many people hustling to be the coach's coach. I get hit probably 5 times a day, whether it be through a private message on IG, on Facebook, coaches that want me to pay them to teach me how to build my business, and it's an endless onslaught, and it gets really tiring. I don't engage. Why don't I engage? I'll tell you why. Because you said one word, Josh. One word. 5 letters. How many syllables? You could buy a syllable right now if you want to guess the word you said.
Said a lot of words.
Trust. Trust. I don't want to sell out as a coach, as a podcast host, or any other side hustle that I do to create income flow in my life today. No. I'm not going to sell out. I prefer to live in a world of trust that, let's say the source, or the universe, or the divine is going to put in front of me when I'm ready for it. And I'm not interested in paying for that right now. Again, it's just one more dollar out. And if no judgment here, but honestly, if a coach's coach was so good at what they did, then why aren't they doing it? Why am I going to pay them to teach me how to market my brand? I don't know. And for me personally, again, this is just my own personal experience. I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars over my adulthood, paying others to give me answers. And I'm not interested in that today. I've trusted the path that I have taken in my personal life and in my professional career, if we want to call it a career. I don't even like that word today. It's not a career. Actually, I'm just living my life. I'm finding fulfillment and passion in my purpose. And if that's not enough, then it's time for me to say, I'm exiting stage left.
Mm-hmm.
So I love what you said when you said that you're leaning into trust, and coming off of last week where, Josh, welcome back, by the way. You've I presume that in this week you've been kind of coming back to Josh Richer, because you had been working on this project that you shared in last week's podcast that wasn't, you weren't aligned with. You reached the point where you didn't feel aligned and you decided to exit out. And again, trust that even though you didn't have something set up, you were going to take a new route.
No plan's better than a bad plan. So I'm extremely happy. Thank you. And thank you for all your kind words, everybody. It feels amazing to follow the heart. And I think that's kind of just, I don't know, it seems to be the message that is coming through the universe to me, super strong over the last 6, 8, 10 months, is just keep following your heart, keep following your heart. And I had to finally kind of like, I guess, forgive myself for not wanting to be on social media. It sounded funny because I was beating myself up over that. It became a source of like, man, I should be posting. I should, all the shoulds started coming in, and I'm like, I don't feel like it. And that's okay. And it's okay to just be us. It's okay to not fit into the norm. It's okay to be an oddball out, and it's okay to find your own way. And it's okay to just be you, and to love that and accept that and trust in that. And I think that's where my lessons have been in the last 6, 10 months, is just lean more into me. So
love that. Star says, yes, trust when you're following your heart. Tracy says, Tracy Smith coming in from Canada says, always follow your heart, my friend. And it's good to see you back, Tracy. I know you've been under the weather. You've been nursing yourself back to complete health. And by the way, Jeff Fasano, you sound a whole lot better this week. Last week, for those, Jeff, last week I said I wanted to protect your HIPAA law rights and not disclose. But I forgot that earlier in the day you had already posted on social media that you thought you may have had COVID.
And I got COVID. Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah.
You fared really well, Jeff. I'm impressed. It's a testament to all the self-love that you do and all the good that you do and put in your body. And
it's what I don't put in my body.
True.
Oh, that too. That's true.
More to
That's
the point.
true.
And I'm going to get back on topic here. And how much I don't indulge in social media.
Well, I do want to say this, gentlemen. One of the other blessings that I have experienced from having this podcast initially come through social media. Now we are streaming through Roku and Amazon. However, it created the opportunity for me as well as for Mary to develop some really intimate, close friendships. I mean, literally, that we now have video chats that can go an hour, sometimes 2, and as long as 3 hours of just connecting with people that aren't even US based. And that wouldn't have happened if we hadn't kind of come out of our comfort zone and put ourselves out in social media to do what we do. So there are blessings that come from it. It's not all negative. It's not all a waste of time. We have had some beautiful friendships. And I'm talking about friendships. I'm talking about people that we connect with on such a deep soul to soul level, deeper than friends that go back sometimes 10, 15, 20 years. It's a different type of relationship that's been developed because of the availability of the digital world, including video chat. I mean, the digital world is not just about social media. Let's talk about that. How has the digital universe, when it comes to video, the opportunity to communicate and to see someone else through video? Have either one of you guys played with that at all, as far as engaging with friends and family and others through, rather than picking up a cell phone or picking up a landline, if you still even have one of those, to have just a basic conversation with a friend? Like, what does that look like? How often do you, Jeff, use video, whether it be through Messenger, be through Zoom, if you have an iPhone, of course, FaceTime? Is that something that you, Jeff, have embraced in your own personal relationship?
To a certain extent, but I belong to a men's group here in Nashville, and we meet every Monday night during the whole quote unquote pandemic. We were on Zoom every Monday night, and it was great to see the guys. Like I said, there are so many wonderful things about this this technology. It's about how addicted you become to it, how you abuse it, how it becomes a divisive part of your life. What we're talking about, and that's why I brought up, Real Men, Real Talk Live. I mean, geez, with this technology, look at us doing an amazing show from all of, Evis
around the world.
This is all the wonderful aspects, and how it is used constructively, how it's used to bring stuff to the world, how it's used to connect people in the world. We could also go, and I'm going to go back to the dumbing down of America and social media, and what all of that is about. That's what annoys me and gets me. But what Jay just said is, yeah, from time to time, I'll FaceTime people. From time to time, I'll say, hey, let's do a Zoom. Let's talk. Let's see each other. And then sometimes I'm just on the phone with somebody. But I'm not a texter. I don't go into that. I know people who can have full-blown conversation with text messages back and forth, and that is how they live. That's the sad part in all of it. There's wonderful, wonderful aspects of this. Case in point, this show, with all the people over the world watching this show and what we do. And then you have, I'm going to say it, people doing stupid dances on television, on social media, and all of this stuff that is just, to me, I just wonder how America and the world has gotten that low. But that's my editorial. But other than that,
but wouldn't you say, I have to admit, I've jumped on TikTok a handful of times in the last week, and it makes me laugh. And if that's all it is good for, is bringing a smile to my face or a chuckle. Now, of course, I can go down a hole, and I make sure to stop myself. And, I'll watch a couple of things and get a laugh and go, wow, humankind has this incredible ability to make fun of itself. Which in the right hands can be highly entertaining and can add light. And I think that's kind of where I wanted to go tonight, was talking in the framework of how does it make you feel? So we can say it's good, we can say it's bad, we can say it's negative, we can say it's whatever, but it all depends on how it makes me feel. So when I wasn't in a good place and I was paying back my debts and I was living very small, being on social media was a constant reminder that I had less than everybody else. And that was the story that my brain kept reinforcing when I'd see people on beaches or whatever. And so I chose to pull myself out, exit stage left, as Jay says, because it was causing negative feelings, negative stories, negative reinforcements. And I wasn't strong enough at the time to refuse the temptation to anchor those stories. And so I took myself out of it. Now, I for sure can get down a rabbit hole of TikTok or Instagram or whatever, but I choose to take myself out of. I go in, I will pop in, like some friends' things. They feel my love and support. And then I laugh at a couple of TikToks because it brings me joy. And then I'm out. I don't, I make sure not to just stay there or get stuck. And it's very easy. These things are designed to keep you there and to keep that. I mean, these whole businesses are built on eyeballs on the screen. So yes, that was the framework I wanted to really discuss tonight, was how does it make you just check in? How does it make you feel in the moment?
I love that, Josh. That's a beautiful question, not only for social media, because we're kind of honing in on that, but this is more than social media. This is living in a digital age that we live in today, all technology available. I mentioned the video. You know, I really, when I first found that, how I felt when I initially engaged in a conversation through a video chat, it was a game changer. It changed everything for me. Not only with, let's say, my mom who lives in Florida. And that was not an easy one. Mom, if you're watching, that was a challenge at first, getting her to know how to navigate and manipulate her desktop or her phone to be able to have a video chat with me. But it's been such a beautiful way to connect. One other way is between my own sons. My sons are all millennials. And so they live in what you described, Jeff, where the majority of how they communicate is through texting. And I make it a point to do a video chat with my sons most of the time. Not all of the time. It's not always conducive for either them or I. But I'll ask them, hey, are you available for a video chat? That's the text I send them. And then it's a yes, I am, or no, but maybe in an hour or tomorrow. And for me, being that I don't live in the same community, I don't live in the same city, and I don't live in the same state, it is another, again, great way for me as their dad to have a conversation where I could see their body language, they could see me. It is for me, the living in a world of texting with relatives and friends, for people that we care about, is a very, very safe, detached way to continue living in a very detached way. Mm-hmm. And for me, when I saw this gateway of connecting with friends and family, it changed everything for me, because that's what I seek today, is more intimate relationships with people. I do it with a number of people that I've connected with that are viewers, even right now commenting on social media, as far away as, of course, Canada, the UK, New Zealand, Australia. I could go India. I've done video chats as far away. I mean, I'm sure many of us have, but I want to invite our viewers, if this is something that you haven't done, that you haven't experienced, as uncomfortable as it may seem at first, give it a try. I remember talking to my cousin that came in from New York to visit Arizona a couple of years ago, and we did a hike together. And I asked her about how often she uses video chat to connect with her closest friends. And she is, I want to say, maybe 35 now, 34, 35. And she says, like, I've only done it like once or twice. And I'm like, well, I want to challenge you. I want to invite you. I'm going to dare you. When you get home back to New York, next time you go to speak to your girlfriend who you came to visit out in Arizona, ask her to do a video chat. And then let me know how that goes and how that feels. And she shared with me that for her, it changed so much.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go. I'm
You taught me that, Jay. You taught me the importance of that. When we first started talking, we first started doing, I think I jumped on your show a couple of times, and you were the one that says, "Are you available for a video chat?" And I was like, okay. Not knowing the power, not knowing why you were saying that. And that, you know, you framed it as, I'm a connector. That's what I like to do. I like to connect. And I was amazed at our calls because it is different. It is amazing. You can see the micro expressions in people's faces. They can't hide. I can't hide. And for me, for the better part of a decade, hiding was my job. And if my friends had called me out on a video chat, you know, it's real easy to hide behind technology. And in video, you can't. And who knows? Some people might have noticed when I was going down my holes a little bit more. As bad as I tried to hide all of that, it's harder to hide on video.
There you go. Yeah, and I've had a few women that would be to me like, well, my hair's not done, or I don't even have makeup on right now. I'm like, I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to see you. I'm just here to connect. And then they're like, oh, either they're like, okay, that's cool, or just give me 10 minutes. Let me just kind of get myself together here. And I get to honor that. I get to respect that. That's not about me. That's about the individual not feeling safe to just show up. I did a video chat a couple of nights ago with Tracy Smith, who's on here, and she's been under the weather, and she was at peace with doing a video call, even though, you know, she didn't. It wasn't her best day. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to share Evis Heath. For those of you that joined us late, he unfortunately coming in from Australia. He's had some. YOUniverse has created some type of conflict for him this evening, and not able to have a stable connection on digital media tonight. He says dopamine is a big hit. The problem is the artificial blue light. Its effect on melatonin and circadian rhythm of the body is knocking the body out of balance. Know your boundaries with this tech, brothers and sisters.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
The screen.
I take melatonin to go to sleep at night. I photographed a band called Circadian Rhythm.
Well, you want to try to break this down, Josh? What do you think he's saying?
I did a lot of dope in my
Sure.
bag.
The circadian rhythm is the body's natural sleep rhythms. And the artificial blue light from all the screens, I'm going to drop into the 5D here for all our EV fans out there.
You do that.
The screens mess with our
Bring
brains,
me home.
actually.
Bring me home, Josh.
Right? The screens mess with our brains. The blue light messes with our brains, and it alters our chemicals, and it alters our body's natural rhythms. So yes, coming from a guy who stares at a screen all day for work, it's it's something to consider for sure.
Me too. I'm editing photos. I'm on, my Big Mac here all day. I have to get off it from time to time, but I don't think that's what we're really talking about here. We're talking about, I want to open up the question to who's addicted to social media, who's addicted to having to put up a picture of themselves every single day. And why do you do that? Who's addicted to putting something up about what every meal that you've had one day, or every waking moment? I'm getting in the car right now. Well, now I'm getting out of the car. These are the things that I'm talking about. The addiction to social media, the addiction of being on it, the addiction of needing to show a photograph of yourself every single day on every post that you make. That's the part of it that the 5D part of this that is interesting to me, and why it's done. Why is it's done? I still go back to, I'm sure everybody here or maybe not know who Edward R. Murrow is. Edward R. Murrow had a wonderful show back, when TV first started. And he said, if commercialism gets into television, watch out. And every time I see certain shows like The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Georgia, I always say Edward R. Murrow is turning over in his grave right now to what television has become, and the shows that are on television. So I look at social media, and I see from when I first got on Facebook. Actually, I'm going to go all the way back to MySpace, folks. And the reason why, and the original reason why, to what has happened with it when you scroll through and see stuff that I just wonder why. I wonder why. What is it within it? Is there some sort of aspect of yourself that you don't love? That you need some gratification from outside of yourself to constantly post all of these photos? Is that something's going on? Because I just don't, to this day, I don't understand it. I have a problem with it, and it's why that if I'm on social media for more than 15 or 20 minutes a day, that's a long time for me. So those are the questions that I have with all of this, that I understand. We have just spoken about the wonderful aspects of the digital world. I'm talking about the addictive aspects or the narcissistic aspects of social media.
Well, Jeff, I'm gonna invite Karen Demick to break it down for you, since you seem a little hot on this subtopic here. She said, again, this ties back into what Ev just chatted about on dopamine. People do post because it is addictive. Where else can you get that kind of fix and that hit? It is like a drug. So here's my question, Jeff, because one of our viewers challenged you in this moment and said, why are you so bothered by it? Do you know why does it trigger something in you that agitates you? I'm going to invite you to take a nice deep breath. And
where I'm going to bring this to is, I'm going to take the approach of, for me, I really don't live in the 3D world. And when I see all of that stuff, it's like, there's something that in it, that there's something that is I'm trying to find the word. There's questions. Doesn't really trigger me. It brings up questions of why. When I see it, I always ask, why? I have a friend in LA who every single post he makes is a photo of himself. And I just want to know why. What's underneath that? Why?
Well, but here's the thing, Jeff, is that I think it's clear you know the why. The question is why are, I don't mean to put you in a hot seat, but you're hot right now, and this is Real Men Real Talk, so we're going in. The question is why not just accept that it's that person's soul journey, and they have a need to get something that they're not getting outside of this type of platform or program, and why let it get you rather than just kind of like accept it as that's his soul journey and have, let's say, some sense of empathy for them in that moment.
Well, I do, but I just want to know why. To me, see, for me, it's a 3D thing. It's why I'm not a part of it. It's so 3D that I just can't get involved in it, and that's why I'm not. It's just, it's my choice. We're talking about choices here. It's why I choose not to, and probably causes when I do scroll through, and I'm scrolling through for 10 minutes, I feel something shift in me energetically, where my energy starts to dive and go, and I start to get in the muck and mire of some 3D stuff, and that's why I stop. And that's just me. I need my resonance and vibration raised, and the more I go on through social media, I see what's there, see what's going on, and I just feel myself going into this low vibrational, dense place that doesn't serve me. And that's me.
And that's a good reason for you to spend less time on social media then, right? As you've acknowledged.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it got hot here. I broke out in a little bit of a heat wave right here. And it is winter in Sedona, Arizona, where I reside today and call home. But Josh, I want to ask you from your perspective, I want to shift gears here as we're approaching 20 minutes before the hour. From your perspective, moving forward, how can you embrace the digital age in a way that works for you in your life? Because you mentioned it's about, it's about our relationship with it. And many of us easily get distracted and can get hijacked in a way that is really not productive in our life.
Sure.
Taz James asked the question earlier, and I want to thank you. It was a really good question, Taz. You asked, is it controlling you or are you controlling it?
That's perfect. It's a beautiful question to ask yourself as you're there, because again, it's designed to hit that dopamine spot in the brain, and it's designed to keep you there. So if we're not aware and if we're not careful, we can easily get sucked in. And so yeah, and I guess as far as the whole posting everything, I guess I always just keep asking myself, why do I do things? I guess maybe that's kind of like one of the core questions that I ask myself. Is this an avoidance energy? Am I running away from bad feelings? Am I running towards dopamine hits or shopping or, back when I used alcohol and back, is it because I'm trying to run away from something painful and distract myself or numb or check out or just not feel? Or is it something that actually is bringing me joy and laughter, like popping onto TikTok every now and then and laughing at the cat that fell off the kitchen table when the dog barked? I mean, we're the only ones that know the answer to that and so I guess just staying aware and asking myself throughout life, and that's with everything.
Yeah, I love that.
Am I avoiding or am I moving towards? And we've talked about that on plenty of episodes back and forth. And so, yeah, I think just listening to my heart and really checking, like really, really checking in, because sure, numbing feels great. And it could be a disguise as, hey, I just wanted to feel good. So I went out and had drinks with my friends, but what's underneath? Were you running away from something at home, some conflict at home? Or were you, did you call all your friends to go join you at the bar because you had a really crappy day at your job and you're framing it at, so I think we just need to get really, really, really honest, brutally honest with ourselves and ask, there's your question, Jeff. Ask why.
I want to.
I was doing, just bringing things up and saying, why?
Why is it important?
I want to switch gears here, gentlemen. I want to bring us up to our last segment here in tonight's show, episode number 90. Tonight was a hot show. Got a lot of let's say a lot of hair raised on our necks here for those of us that have hair. But I want to ask the two of you, since you're both single and you both on occasion are out there dating or seeking to date, one of the ways that dating has changed, I witness this almost on a daily basis when couples book me for a hike and heal couples relationships. I ask them, how did you meet? Because a number of them that are together for less than 5 years that come through say, we met on a dating app. So I'm curious from your perspective, being that is part of the digital universe we're living today, how has that worked for the two of you in your life? Have you found it to be a blessing or a burden? Is it a great way to vet, to screen, and potentially create a relationship from apps, digital apps that come through your devices?
I don't know, Josh. You better than me to ask because I don't do it. So I don't do.
I was just gonna say you.
Why don't
You
you?
know,
Well, that's
you
a good
don't want to
question.
know.
Why not? Why not, Jeff? Why
because
have you not done it?
I explained it before. My attention span on stuff like that is about 4 minutes. I don't know what it is about me. It's like I scroll a little bit and then I'm just bored. I'm bored. I'd rather go and watch, stream Taxi and laugh for a while. And I tried it a long time ago when I lived in Los Angeles, and I would scroll a little bit and then I would just go, I'm bored. I would just stop. And that's the way I am with social media. I just get bored very, very quickly.
Well, Debbie Andrews says I'll make it 5, Jeff. That sounds like a proposal to me, but hey, what do I know? And 5 minutes rather than 4. She said that. I think what she said. Well, tell us more. What do you mean by that, Debbie Andrews? Leo J says Jeff is old school. Now, is there anything wrong with being old school? That's really the next question. What's wrong with being old school? Is there anything wrong with being old school?
No.
I consider myself old school where connection is concerned, which goes back to our conversation when we doing Zoom calls and doing FaceTimes and doing shows like this. To me, this is a wonderful use of technology, of the digital age of technology, the wonderful use of it. I use it. I use it an awful lot. I have reconnected on Facebook with so many wonderful, wonderful old friends, but I'm not posting everything I had for dinner, breakfast, and lunch every day.
All right. I want to bring you back to reality here. Debbie Andrews says to Jeff Fasano, I can keep his attention for 5 minutes rather than his usual 4.
Wow.
That sounds like, I think that, I don't know, is that an invitation? Or are you guys, maybe perhaps when the show ends tonight, we ought to have you and Debbie do a video chat. See how long she can keep your attention. Josh, I want to ask you, tell me about your relationship with digital dating apps. How has that worked for you? What do you find it versus what as Jeff would say, old school? Which has worked better for you, and or has it? What's your relationship with it like?
Well, the last few months have been different because I've been literally here at home all day, and I used to have the luxury of being on sets where I was around people and meeting people. And when I was working from home now, I'm not. And so we spoke about that, some of that loneliness. And so the apps have been a way to connect to people, but it's changed a lot. It has changed a lot. And the apps have gotten better about hooking us and that dopamine kick. And it's caused a negative, in my opinion, that I'll start talking to some really, really cool women who are into spirituality, all of this stuff. And they're getting pings from 5, 6 other dudes. And that dopamine feels good that you got a new like. And yeah, I get the same flutter too when I get a new like. But what it's doing is the likes are becoming more important than staying on task and getting to know someone. So it's changed a lot, and for the worse, the worst. And it's tough. It's really tough. After a few months of being back on the dating apps, I'm literally ready to give it all up again for a while, and start seeking out those actual events, connecting, like we've been talking, connecting with real people, doing real things, and focusing, now that I'm not having a job that's keeping me stuck here, readjusting my focus to get back out in life and be around people, because that's where it's at.
Evis says outdated apps. That's there's that. Ev still's got his sense of humor. He's
That's on
coming in.
fire. Ev's on fire. Absolutely, Ev.
What I love about what Ev has done, how I've seen him evolve just in the last 3 or 4 months, is he's putting out these really comical videos, but that also have some essence of meaning behind them as it relates to health and wellness, and coming back to self, healing mind, body, and soul, the work he does. But he's using humor based on, a lot of it is self-humor based on himself. And he does such a brilliant job. I look forward to seeing his videos that I think he's producing at least 4 or 5 a week, if not more. Karen says, Evis Heath is on fire online. Yeah, he is. Is he not, Karen?
And Ev, this is for you, my friend, too, because I was going through your Instagram trying to find a good photo of you for the new tile of the show that we're putting up tonight. You'll see it. But dude, I finally sat down and started watching a handful of these videos that Jay is talking about. And you're on fire, my friend. The lightness and the humor that you bring to this work is truly special and truly unique. And if you were in the green room, I was going to tell you that in person, but I guess I get to tell you. And for all of you out there that haven't gone to Ev's Instagram recently, it's a kick. It's a lot of fun. You got to go visit, because Ev, man, the lightness you're bringing right now has been a blast to watch.
Yeah. So here's where I want to go with that. I want to ask the two of you, since Evis is observing tonight, he's a viewer, he's watching, he's commenting, he's engaged here. Did either one of you know that he had that in him?
No. Nope.
And so, Jeff, is that a yes or a no? That, because the way you just said that kind of reminds me of the day I rope climbed into this sacred remote cave and then proposed to Mary. And her answer to me was kind of like the same. It wasn't a it was an oh my God about 10 times in a row. And I'm like, well, is that a yes? Is that a no? Is that a maybe? It took me a while to understand. What is your
It was just another part of Evis that I learned.
There you go.
I don't think it wasn't about that I think he had it in him. It's just that another part of Evis that he revealed. That's just a part of him.
So let me ask you gentlemen this. What part of yourself have you not revealed on Real Men, Real Talk Live yet?
Jeez. Oh my God. Josh and I had this conversation the other night after our production meeting. What haven't we revealed?
Right? We have literally bawled our eyes out.
I've cried on this show. I've laughed on this show. I've revealed stuff about myself that there are deep friends of mine I've known for years don't know, that people out here in the world know about me. I don't know.
And this is not off topic either, because here we are. I don't know if some of you understand how sometimes challenging this can be, to know that the entire world is watching and that this is going to be available forever.
Exactly. Yep.
So that any words that come out of my mouth are open to scrutiny, judgment, and or potential shame. And it's testament to these guys and the safe space that we create. Give us permission, give me permission. I can only speak from the I, to be that vulnerable, to say things that I have never even uttered out loud to myself, let alone tell the entire planet.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for being those amazing, non-judgmental, knowing, trusting, loving friends that hold space for me to heal and grow on this show, hold space for me to just become the true me that I don't even know is in there yet, like you were just saying, Jay. And that's what it is, and that's what connection is, and that's what friendship is, and that's what love is holding that space for others to be their absolute best self. And I try and do that with all of my friends and my family. And I'm always the biggest cheerleader. I want everybody to succeed and be their best. And you guys here, and Ev out there too, on the other side, brother, do that for me on this show. And that gives me the courage. That gives me the strength. That gives me permission to be 1000% me right here in front of all of you and just let it all go. And it's actually become, I've mentioned this a few times on the show as well. It's become a joy telling on myself. And there's so much freedom in that as well. So I do suggest that you try it, even though it is scary and terrifying at first. It sure is amazing calling out those old ghosts and bringing them into the light where they can't hide anymore. And then just saying, this is me.
I think an answer to your question, Jay, is I have probably been the most opinionated on any show that we've done tonight.
I would agree with that, Jeff. I would agree with that, Jeff.
How does that make you feel?
Wonderful.
I'm just pushing it back on you because that's what you normally would ask one of us. Well, how does that make you feel?
Freeing.
Okay.
Because it's an unpopular.
Honest. I can't see comments or anything like that, but I'm sure I said some pretty unpopular things. Maybe pushed a few buttons, but when we were talking about this in our production meeting, I knew that if Jay threw it to me, that I knew my opinions about social media were going to come flying forth.
Yep. And, part of our show, although it's very rare that I'd say we get controversial or perhaps trigger people, which I know we do quite often, but we tend to be more neutral. And I do want to thank you for at least sharing your personal perspective on it. We don't always have to agree with one another. But if you've been watching tonight, you notice that there were no voices raised. There was no profanity. We gave Jeff the space for him to go down that rabbit hole.
Speak your truth.
And that's it. And that's what we do. That's what we do as Real Men, Real Talk Live. It's not always going to come out pretty. It's not always going to come out perfect. It's not going to always resonate with you as our viewer. That's why we do this show, is because you have four men with four different life experiences coming together to share our wisdom, our experiences, our pain, our sadness, our joy, our celebrations, and our respect and love for one another as men.
Yeah.
And with that, as we wrap up tonight's show, Ev, you were missed, I know, by all three of us. Thank you for joining us in the chat this evening. Gentlemen, I sent us a private note, but you guys have been so in flow, you haven't noticed. I put it out there if you're physically up to doing a quick after show to invite perhaps a few guests that want to maybe join us and continue the conversation. We can do that.
I get more opinion. I get more opinion. You know what? I would love to do that. And I hope Ev can join us, because I think we all know Ev so well that I wanted to hear his 5D opinions about social media. And I'm bummed that we didn't get that tonight.
Look
So
at that.
what I'm doing
Social
is
media censored that even.
Really?
so what I just did is I just put the link on a social media feed. If we only have room for about 5 of our viewers, you can maybe come in and sit in the waiting room, and we'll pull you in as we rotate out. We'll do
And you guys, this is special. I think we've done this like once before.
Yeah, we have.
In over a year of doing this together. So jump in. It's fun. You'll get to see what happens in the after show when we all kind of come down together.
So again, I put the link in there. It's in the feed right now for StreamYard. Click on it, and once we go off air, if any of you men and women, or men or women, want to join us for after show to continue this conversation on all things digital, living in your digital universe. Thank you so much for joining us this evening on Real Men Real Talk Live. Evis, next week we'll see you back here when you behave and the universe doesn't take you out. And with that, thank you for joining us this evening on Real Men Real Talk Live. We'll catch you next week for episode 91 in 2022. We'll see you live next week.